Welcome YouTube. Thanks for checking out this tour of my garage gym / workshop space. Like many of you out there, I love looking at tour videos of this nature, checking out other people's garage gyms and hobby rooms, man caves. They go by many names, but this is my version of such a space. Affectionately known as the Dragon Lab. Why? Because every garage gym has to have a strong mythical beast as its logo. And lab, that just kind of alludes to my overall purpose for this space, which is to have somewhere I can experiment, learn, try new things, work with my hands, and just improve as a person. I do run a self-improvement website. That's called upgradedragon.com. You can check that out. I'll have the link in the description. It's basically self-improvement for the nerd. Coming over here, you can see right at the top there, I'm a huge Iron Man fan. Also like Batman and some other superhero stuff. But one of the things that I like about Iron Man so much is his workshop area. So if you check out that first Iron Man movie, there are so many great scenes of him in his workshop area. And I like that so much that I kind of wrote an article and broke it down section by section. You can check that out. I'll have the link in the description as well. And this stuff I just kind of have up here because it adds to the stoke. What do I mean by that? I was in a surf shop. I used to live in Hawaii, and my wife and I were trying to learn to surf. But I was talking to the guy there that worked there who was helping me pick out a board. And I was talking to him like, oh, I like this one because it looks cool. I know that's not that important. It's more important how it rides and everything. And he was like, no, it adds to the stoke. And that really kind of stuck with me. So the purpose being there, like, yeah, it might just be looks, but if that makes it enjoyable for you to use, if it keeps you coming back for more and it just adds to the stoke, that's a good thing. So this stuff kind of adds to the stoke for me. So I also like space a lot. You can see that universe book there. I did take some Muay Thai classes a few years back, and so I got that book. Haven't been doing any of that in the past few years, but I would like to add a heavy bag to the gym space. Probably banana bag style, so I can practice kicks and knees as well. I'm a huge fan of tech. I've got my Surface 2 laptop there, which I use occasionally. I can plug it in using that mini display port to this TV here, which I use as an external monitor. Got an Apple TV there as well. Sometimes I'll throw on a movie or YouTube video while I'm working out, just for inspiration. Got a PS3 over there with a few select games. Haven't had too much time to use that out here. Plus, this is Texas, so the garage gym is pretty hot, maybe 7 months out of the year. So when it cools off, I might get into that more. Got some high quality artwork there by my kids. Always good for inspiration, reminding me why it is I do what I do, which is just try and be the best version of myself, not only for myself, but for them. I've got a Jawbone big jam box up there. Moment of silence for Jawbone. It was a tech company that made fitness trackers, and they also made these speakers, and they went under a few years back, but this big jam box has been working great. I got it in 2013, I believe. Still works great, hasn't had an update in forever. But it puts out a ton of sound, more than enough for the garage gym space, so really like using that. Got a small parts organizer here. Got some yellow there to keep with the Iron Man color theme. No, it's not ketchup and mustard. And there's nothing really out of the ordinary in here, just a place to store various hardware, screws and nails and stuff. But what I like is that it keeps the space organized and looking purposeful. Next to that is a space that is not as organized, which I would like to clean up at some point, but this is where I store my bands and lifters, knee sleeves and whatnot. These come in really handy because I do not have a pulley machine in my garage gym space, but these yellow bands, which I believe are rated 15 pounds, are great for mobility and warm up. The red bands I think are 30, green 65, and the black band is 100, so I can use those bands for accessory movements, bicep curls, face pulls, even rows, all kinds of stuff. So those really come in handy. I did complete my first Spartan race earlier in the year. I think that obstacle courses are a great measure of fitness, as opposed to just lifting or just running. Having to navigate different obstacles, it measures endurance as well as speed. So it was a great experience. I would definitely do another one. However, they're incredibly overpriced. If the price wasn't an issue, I'd definitely do another one. Got a jump rope there. I definitely use that for Metcons some. I used to warm up with that exclusively before I got my air bike. Got some Romaleo 2s back there. Still love these. I have the Romaleo 3s, which are not as good in my opinion. So I'm sticking with those. My wife's stuff is next to mine there. You see she's got the Romaleo 2s as well. I've got a Rogue Ohio deadlift, or I should say powerlifting belt, which I really love. That's one of my favorite items in the gym. And I got my knee sleeves there as well, Ray-Ban, as well as some Rock Tape knee sleeves. Coming over here, I've got Craftsman tool chest, which I really like. A few of the features that are included here are the power supply, which I use to recharge my phone, my earbuds, my big jam box, as well as when I need to power up some power tools, I can just plug them in right there. Got a very subtle, nondescript bottle opener there. Jaybirds Edition 1. These things I've had since 2014, I believe, and they're still working great. Amazing that this first generation product has lasted this long, so I love them. No complaints or issues there. Label maker in the back there. So far as the drawers, well, I do like that it has the soft close drawers. There's nothing out of the ordinary in here, just the kind of things that you would expect in a tool chest. So I'm not going to go through each and every one of those, but these are a bunch of tools that I inherited from my dad, so they have sentimental value as well. This right here, though, however, is an Arduino kit, and I got this a few years back. If you don't know what Arduino is, it's basically, there are a lot of different kits that you can buy from Arduino, but this one in particular consists of a breadboard, a microcontroller, various sensors. You can see some of the sensors in there. This is an LED right here, and you hook it up to your computer. You can program it, and when those sensors pick up information, it'll execute something, whatever you want it to do, whether that's turn on a light, turn on a motor to execute something. So basically I just got it as a way to kind of learn about electronics, resistors, transistors, circuits, all that stuff. And I did the first few projects, then we had to move, packed it up in this handy dandy little kit, and it's kind of been collecting dust since then, but I would like to get back into it at some point. That's a very neat thing. And down here is the original box for that Arduino. And right there you can see what the breadboard and microcontroller look like. But that's a fun thing to do if you want to learn about electronics. Coming back over here, so underneath I've got some storage, but it's not terribly organized. So I'm not going to spend too much time over here, but I've got some power tools, including a compound miter saw back there, a Cobalt brand, it's okay, an air compressor, various toolboxes and such. So I definitely would like to clean this up and get more organized. I will show you one really neat little tool that I got recently, which I really enjoy. This is, let me get this thing open, a Bosch hammer drill. And so I had been making do with a power drill for most of my things, or most of my needs rather. I got this in order to install a mantle in our brick fireplace, and it has been awesome. It's very lightweight and compact. It's variable speed, and also has 3 different modes here. You can set it to driver only, drill, if you're going to be drilling into wood or something soft, and then drill with hammer action if you need to drill into brick or concrete, and it worked great for that. And so one of my favorite tools in here. I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but my brother-in-law actually created this custom Dragon Lab sign for me. He also did the Iron Man painting below it, but I don't know what the wood burning technique is that he used, but it turned out great and it was a nice surprise. It's very nice to have something customized for the space. So shout out to Michael, I really appreciate that, man. Coming over this way, I do have a whiteboard that I just got, which is another thing that's not only functional but also inspiring. I've got a quote up there. If you've seen this movie, you know that in the movie Steve Rogers is talking about giving his life for freedom, basically, but I'm closing in on retirement, so this is kind of getting me through. Paid about 19 years or so to get close to retirement, so I'm just using this quote to get me through the last little push here. I'm also tracking my core glute rehab there, just as a reminder to myself to do that every day. You can see there that I've been less than perfect. Coming over here, all right, so there's life before the garage fridge and life after. But seriously, this has been such a blessing to have in the space. Not only can I store extra meat, bread, and stuff up here in the freezer, but I have really expanded my beer collection. We all gotta have our priorities, so this is great though for storing drinks. I got it pretty full right now. You'll notice that there's a bunch of sticker swag over here. This is mostly just for fun. I always say, like, have fun where you can. This is nothing too serious, but I already talked about I love superheroes in general, and also got a bunch of space stuff over here. So that's mostly just for fun there. Let's see. So that pretty much concludes the workshop portion of the tour. And then coming over here, we'll get into the garage gym portion. Starting with this deadlift platform that I put together, but it wasn't just me, actually. I had my two girls help me. They're pretty young, but this was the first time I let them use the power drill, and so they drove a lot of these screws in here. So it kind of has special meaning to me because of that, because we built it together. This is customized for the space, meaning that a typical Olympic lifting platform is going to be 8 feet by 8 feet. This one's 8 by 6, just a little bit shorter so that I have space here between the fridge and air bike and the platform. Coming up here, we've got the must-have barbell rack. Everybody's gonna have a cool gun-style rack in the gym. The bar on here on the bottom is a no-name beater bar. I almost never use this anymore. Above it is the first nice bar we got for the space. This is the Rogue Ohio deadlift bar in bare steel, and this is the Boneyard version. Got on a Facebook Marketplace. It was very well taken care of. And then we subsequently let it rust in the garage gym for about a year, so that was no good on us, but I then cleaned it up. It's got a little bit of a patina, as you can see. It looks kind of dirty on film, but it doesn't have rust on it anymore, so it's back to, at least somewhat, to its former glory. But I will never let a barbell rust again like that, because it was in bad shape. Above that is the Fringe Sport Women's Olympic lifting bar that I just gave my wife for Mother's Day. It's nice, it's hard chrome, and I've used it a few times, especially warming up with the SOTS press. Those first few reps with 45 pounds on a standard men's bar that's a little bit much for me. So I like to use this one for certain things. Above that is kind of one of my, what I would say, my pride and joy of the garage gym. That's the Vulcan Absolute Power Bar, and it's in black oxide. So a few things I like about this bar a lot. It's got a center knurl, but that's slightly more passive than the knurl on the outside, which is actually really great. It's pretty, I don't know if I'd say aggressive, but it's very sticky. So it's the perfect knurling, I think, for me. And I do appreciate having the center knurl, so it So I get some stick when I'm doing back squats, but it's not so aggressive as like an Ohio deadlift bar or power bar that's gonna just tear up my back. Above that is the Rogue Men's IWF approved Olympic bar, I believe is the title. I don't know, they got so many different variations. This one is the Euro version, I believe, which means it has the center knurl. If that's incorrect, somebody can let me know in the comments, but it is IWF approved. I'm a pretty scrub Olympic lifter, so if you need to rent a IWF Olympic bar, you can let me know, because I won't be taking advantage of that certification myself. However, I bought this at the beginning of COVID. I had been eyeing the Ohio bar, which sold out fast, and I needed a bar that I could at least attempt Olympic lifts on, so I ended up buying this one, which is way too much money, way too nice of a bar for me, but nevertheless, I'm glad to have it. Now I've got a no-name Easy Curl bar up there at the top, which I use pretty regularly as well. Works fine. Coming over here, I put together this customized toaster rack for my bumper plates. You can see that it's got a little bit of organization there in the front for the change plates and collars and whatnot. The deadlift wedge in there. And then if I come here in the back, if I added another divider, I could use this for another plate or two, but right now I've got a do-it-yourself pulley system in there, which works okay. I use it occasionally. So if you're interested in putting together a toaster rack like this, I've got an article on my website with directions. It's very easy, and it's nice to have something in the gym that you put together with your own hands. So I highly recommend doing it. It's a very easy first project if you're not too familiar with woodworking, or I wouldn't even call this woodworking, but assembling things with power tools, or even just, you could probably do this with hand tools actually, but suffice to say, check that out at the link in the description if you wish. And that's a set of Fringe Sport color contrast bumpers there. I haven't done a review on those or anything, but I like them just generally speaking. And a Rep Fitness ab mat back there. Speaking of Rep Fitness, this is one of my favorite things in the gym. This is the FB5000 flat bench from Rep with the wide pad, and I can't say enough good things about it. It's very stable, very comfortable to bench on, and I use it all the time. Coming over here, we got the Rogue Echo Bike, which is one of the best air bikes you can get. This thing is, I have a love-hate relationship with it like most people do, but honestly, it's one of the best things I've added to the space. There's a reason they called it the Devil's Tricycle. It is pretty tough, even in short bouts. Even if you try and take it easy on this, it definitely feels like work all the time. So I use it, I don't know if I'd say every day, but most days during the week. And if I'm ever on here feeling sorry for myself, all I gotta do is look down here at my blender bottle, look at steely-eyed, grim-faced Batman there, know that he's disapproving of my weakness, and then I need to try harder. So coming over here, the flooring is just standard horse stall mats. And I've got the Rogue S2 squat rack right here. Bought this used off Facebook Marketplace, and it's worked great. It's definitely not holding me back. I do envision getting a power rack at some point, but I can almost do everything I need to on here. One of the reasons I would want a power rack is just more attachment points. You can see I've got Olympic rings there that I don't use every day, but I do like them for ring dips especially, also ring push-ups sometimes, or ring rows. There's one of those other bands that I've got there attached. And of course I gotta have the spotter arms. I used to think I needed a power rack so that I could bench safely, but honestly, with the west side spacing that is on this squat rack, along with those spotter arms, I can set it exactly how I need, and I've failed many a rep on bench press on here and got out of it just fine with this setup. So it's been great for that. I do have a review on that on my website if you'd like to check that out if you're considering something similar, because basically you can do all the power movements that you need to, and a lot of accessory movements with a squat rack. They might be easier to come by than a power rack if you are looking online or you're looking for something used in your local area. So you can check that out at the link in the description if you wish. Over here I've got a Matador dip bar that I can attach to the rack, and that comes in handy for sure. And then An assortment of dumbbells. My favorites over here are definitely the Rep Fitness 40s and 25s that I've got. I really like the width of the handle on those and the knurling. What I don't like is this style right here that has the handle flared in the middle. I just don't think it's as comfortable. It just doesn't feel as good in the hand. So if I can ever afford a whole set, I might get the entire set of Rep Fitness dumbbells one day. Obviously, I'd like to get some storage as well. It's probably one of the things that's at the top of my list so far as improvements to make to the space. And I've got one lonely kettlebell over there. That's about a 70-pounder there, which I do use for kettlebell swings, suitcase carries. So it definitely is worth having. Would like to get some more in some lighter weights. You can see a leg attachment there. You might be wondering what that's doing there in the corner, or if I can even use it. And actually I can, because the last item here is this PowerTech bench. And this came with an actual full rack setup that was only for benching. It was like a bench only rack. You couldn't squat in it. But once I got the squat rack up here, and before I got that Rep Fitness bench, I took this off of the uprights to the bench rack, and then I added these kind of ghetto little wooden feet here, but I haven't really needed to replace them with anything better. It works perfectly fine as a bench that can incline and decline. So it comes in handy for that. That's why I keep it around. But then in addition to that, I can stick that leg attachment in here and do leg extensions, and more importantly, hamstring curls, which if you have a garage gym, you know, it's kind of, you have to get creative to find ways to work your hamstrings. So it's pretty much RDLs and that leg curl attachment. That's gonna about do it for this tour. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any feedback for me, questions about anything, any of the equipment, prices, any of that stuff, just leave me a comment below. But I've enjoyed sharing this space with you all, and I hope to see you around on YouTube. And maybe I'll make more videos if this is stuff that you guys are interested in. But definitely check out upgradedragon.com if you are interested in some nerdy self-improvement. And we'll catch you later. Thanks.